US 52. Yeah! Alright, we are doing our first ever US highway, so why not start out with 52? It's one of the weirdest ones. It has all kinds of little quirks, as you see from this picture here. So we're going to find out all about US 52. US 52 runs from the Canadian border north of Minot, North Dakota, and continues down to Charleston, South Carolina. It switches its designation between east and south throughout, so it's a weird cat. You're watching Control City Freak. This is the YouTube channel where we talk about highways and the places that they're signed to go to. If you dig this kind of content, why not give us a like? And if you really dig it, why not subscribe? Yeah, subscribe. And I should also mention that you can request your exit or intersection for a $5 super sticker. So we've got the Garden State Parkway coming up next week, since the Chiefs will be playing in Jersey. That's going to be open for another 2 days, maybe, for requests if you're watching this on launch day. After that, we're going to be doing US 52 westbound or northbound, and we're going to be hitting a few old designations of it along the way, including its old route through Minneapolis, as the Chiefs will be playing the Vikings. Let's talk about eastbound US 52, or southbound. Here we are in Canada, and we see a sign for US border. There weren't any signs for US 52 on the Canadian side, nor were there signs for any cities in North Dakota. Here's what it looks like when we actually get to the border. And here's a bird's eye view of the border. So we see US 52 kind of snakes around there for south/eastbound traffic. Here's our first US 52 reassurance shield in North Dakota. It is an eastbound one, so it is signed east-west in the state of North Dakota. And following that, we get a Welcome to North Dakota sign. One of the coolest state welcome signs that we got. And North Dakota, kind of holding true to what they did on the interstates. We've got Minot sign from 87 miles away, which I've come to learn is a pretty long way for a US highway. Here's our first state highway intersection, State Highway 5, and also the first turn of US 52. I originally tried to get the pictures of every turn, but then this was going to be like 4 hours long, so I don't have every turn that US 52 makes. Here we still see straight ahead Minot 68 and Kenmare 16. In this part of North Dakota, it basically looks like Windows XP, so that's pretty awesome. We got Minot 52 miles ahead and Donnybrook a short ways away, 16 miles. I wonder if that's a good town to get in a bar fight. Here we meet our first other US highway, US 2, west for Williston, and we are going to be concurrent with US 2 for a while. We're now on a 4-lane road, and we've got Minot straight ahead, Bismarck straight ahead, Air Base turn left. The old way through Minot would be to turn left and to head downtown, and we are following the bypass of Minot here on 2 and 52. And now we meet US 83, our first odd-numbered road that we meet along this route, and it is signed for Air Base and Bismarck, and we're on something of a freeway here in the Minot area. And here we are getting an exit for East US 52, and it's signed for Jamestown, which is a good pick. Jamestown is a ways away, and it's also where we're going to be meeting I-94. We meet US 281, and 281 southbound is going to be right, northbound will be straight, and eastbound 52 will also be turning right. We follow this roundabout around to go right for Jamestown. We continue down US 52 and 281, and we are getting a truck bypass for 52 and 281. We're not following that right now. Eventually we end up in downtown Jamestown, the first town of any size that US 52 itself actually goes through. And on the edge of town in Jamestown we meet I-94, so we're getting 94 and 52 east for Fargo. We are going to skip ahead of the 94 section. You can see that part of I-94 and US 52 together right over here, but we are going to skip the concurrency and head to where we exit US 52 in St. Paul, Minnesota. Here's a view of the St. Paul skyline as we cross the Mississippi River, and not for the last time. We get a laundry list of exits, but we haven't gotten any kind of control city for US 52 at all yet since we got off of I-94. There probably should have been one at the actual exit because US 52 is a pretty major road here, something of a freeway, and because it should be Rochester. We're going to Rochester. We know Minnesota hates signing Rochester. Further down, when we meet State Highway 55, we do get a sign for 52, Rochester, and Hastings, along with Minnesota 55. And we see our split here that 55 is going to Hastings, and we are going to Rochester. This is an odd duck. Minnesota signs 52 as east-west, but this sign in particular, for some reason, is 52 south. So, And now we finally get a list of cities. We're on something of a freeway on this part of 52, and Rochester is 62 miles away. We have merged with US 63, and we see on signs for US 52 and 63, we don't get a control city, we just get South 52, 63. And that's South 52 thing again. 52 and 63 are a freeway through Rochester, so here is the exit coming up for the Mayo Clinic, what Rochester is best known for. And here is about as downtowny of a Rochester shot as I could find. US 14 had been concurrent with us for a little bit, and it is now leaving for Winona. And now US 63 is going to be departing as well, and US 52 will be a freeway by itself. However, as US 52 is wont to do, it will exit itself here. It often exits itself or turns off of itself, and our control city is Preston at this point. We meet I-90, and I-90 for some reason is signed for West Austin. That's not great. And East La Crosse, which is a little better. If you get off of I-90 at US 52, they give you a choice of Chatfield and Rochester, so we will be going toward Chatfield. I guess that's our control city now? But Preston is back. I don't know why we have that one off for Chatfield, because we had Preston listed before, and now we've got Preston 14 miles again. A ways out of Preston, now we have a US 52 turning right to leave itself once again, and now we are going to Decorah, Iowa. We enter Iowa, and we get no Iowa welcome sign. I looked for, I don't know, 2 or 3 miles, and I never saw one. All we get is this county line sign, and we see now in Iowa we are on South 52, as we will be throughout Iowa. We pass right by the Laura Ingalls Wilder Museum. For a lot of this is called the Laura Ingalls Wilder Highway on part of this. So we are, in fact, on the prairie. Dubuque is now our bottom line, and I think that is a good choice. It's a pretty well-known place in Iowa. But now Dubuque goes away, and we have a choice of Postville, Claremont, and West Union, and we are turning left at this point, I believe, to go to Postville. But after we turn, Dubuque is back on the sign, so here we go. At this intersection, we have a choice of Dubuque, turn left. That's actually not US 52. That is a faster way to Dubuque, and we are continuing straight for Dyersville. We meet US 20, which is a freeway at this point, and we are going to be concurrent with US 20 for a while, so we see East 20 and South 52 straight ahead. I'll save that other part for the US 20 video, so here we are on the freeway of US 20, and we are not yet to Dubuque, but US 52 is going to be leaving US 20 before Dubuque, and it's signed for Bellevue. And now we're going to be meeting US 61 and 151, and for US 52 we are signed for Dubuque again, along with Bellevue. Now US 52 will leave 151 and 61. Dubuque is only 3 miles away, so we are on 2 different roads bound for Dubuque, but we never actually make it there. It still is the right control city further up line, but yes, we are now turning right to go to Bellevue. Bellevue looks like a pretty nice Mississippi riverfront town, so here is the main drag of Bellevue on US 52. But we are not crossing the Mississippi there. We have quite a ways to go through Iowa, so we still have a few more miles. Our routing across the Mississippi River is quite substantial. There's a lot of little islands that we hit. So this is kind of the first island that we're going to be hitting as we leave Iowa. And we see we're on a causeway for a while through some swamplands, and we make a curve. Pretty interesting road in this part. Here's the main channel of the Mississippi River, so we have a nicer bridge as we cross that. And on the other end, we are in Illinois, so welcome to Illinois. Savannah is where we go to turn right, and we are also meeting Highway 64 and 84. We're coming to our only stoplight in Savannah, in fact our only stoplight in Carroll County, and we see East Moline. You would turn right onto 84. East Moline, I wonder why they don't just sign Moline. And Dixon, straight ahead, will become the control city for US 52. Timbo 303 Official 9 requested seeing this intersection, so I will show a better view of it. So here is the actual stoplight where you can turn right onto East 84 and the McDonald's that he mentioned. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Here we are crossing the Rock River in Dixon, so this is Reagan country. And here is downtown Dixon, and we have an intersection for Illinois 38, which I think is Harlem Avenue in Chicago. We meet a lot of Chicago-bound routes on this road. We will be turning, as will Illinois 38, and we will be heading toward Mendota and Rochelle. We split from Highway 38 and we turn right, and now we get Amboy instead of Mendota for some reason, so IDOT being a little squirrely here. We go under I-88. We do not have an intersection with it, but you could have gone another way through Dixon to reach I-88. And now we meet US 30 out here in the middle of nowhere, so turn left for Aurora and turn right for Morrison. And now Mendota is back on the map, so it is 15 miles away. Here in Mendota we meet US 34, so yet another road heading for Chicagoland, as ours is. We were assigned for Peru briefly, but we're not actually going to Peru. To go to Peru you stay on 251 here, and we are going to Troy Grove, which at this point should probably just be signing Joliet. We meet I-39, and I-39 is signed for Rockford and LaSalle, Peru for some reason, as they are wont to do. This is a weird one. So we are meeting Illinois Highway 23, and it's signed for DeKalb, although it goes through several small towns before it gets to DeKalb. US 52 signed for Serena. Serena is literally the next wide spot on the road, turning right here. So 52 should be signed for Joliet here, not for Serena. It makes more sense with DeKalb signed there. We do finally get a Joliet mileage sign 35 miles away, and here we're meeting I-55, and it is signed for Chicago and Bloomington Normal, as they tend to do in Illinois at the intersections. Here we are in Joliet, and we do not quite meet US 30 again. We come very close to it in downtown Joliet, but you have to turn left here to go to 30, and we turn right to stay on eastbound US 52. Here we're meeting US 6, so wow, meeting some big roads right here in Joliet, and 6 we are going to be concurrent with to go over that little bridge there. Let's take a closer look at that. Yep, this is a tiny little drawbridge that has 2 major US highways going across it, so that's interesting. We split from US 6, and we are now going to be concurrent with Illinois Highway 53. We meet I-80, which is signed west for Moline Rock Island. Okay, makes sense. And east for Gary, which I don't know. It's IDOT kind of going overboard there. I feel like I should just go with Indiana like everything else. We split from Illinois 53 and historic Highway 66. We'll get to that one day. And turn left to continue on US 52. We are going to be meeting US 45, and we will be turning right to go to Kankakee. Northbound US 45 would go to Frankfort, Illinois, going left. Here we are in Bourbonnais, the summer home of the Bears. And now we make it to Kankakee, and 45 and 52 remain concurrent and turn left at this point. Pretty interesting sign here, the 45 and the 52 just on one shield, kind of like 1-9 in New Jersey. And we're meeting I-57, signed for Champaign and Chicago, which is sensible. Not going to sign Memphis at this random junction with US 52. We split from US 45, and we are going to be turning left to continue on US 52 toward Donovan. I apologize for the quality here. It's 2007. They haven't updated it since then, but we are meeting US 24, and we will be concurrent with that. We are turning left to go east here. Welcome to Indiana. And shortly into Indiana, we get to Kentland, where we will meet US 41. Straight ahead on US 24, we're signed for Monticello. Yay, awesome. Indiana Beach. Turning right, we go southbound on 41 and eastbound on US 52, and it is signed for Fowler for some reason. I don't know why they go with that there, because as we'll see on 41 and 52, there are much bigger cities. Not too far south of Kentland, we split with US 41, so US 41 is now signed for Terre Haute and Evansville, and we will be on 52 East Lafayette. We come toward Lafayette, and we are turning right onto 52 and south 231, and this is the Skagamore Parkway, I believe. We're actually in West Lafayette at this point, and we go right by the back entrance to Purdue University, so we've got this Purdue sign here, go Boilers. And we turn left now. We leave the Skagamore Parkway. We are taking a different route. The Skagamore Parkway used to be the primary road through Lafayette for US 52, but they've routed US 52 off of it for reasons, because we do meet it again. This actually might be the intersection also, I'm not entirely sure, but it is one of these, I do assure you. This area of Lafayette was requested by WaveRod9275, so thank you so much, I really appreciate that. On the southern end of Lafayette, we are getting a turn for Lebanon, so left is Lebanon. And Lebanon next for exits, and I think signing Lebanon there instead of Indianapolis is fine, because if you wanted to go to Indy, you'd probably be taking I-65. We merged onto I-65 right in the Lebanon area. We now have the intersection for 465, 865, so 865 and 52 East exit here. So we exit on 865 and we meet 465, and we don't get any sign of where US 52 is going to go on 465. It is going east, so we'll jump ahead. I'm not doing the 465 part, it'll get its own video one day, so we're getting 52 East Brookville Road, but no Control City. At the bottom of the ramp, though, we do get New Palestine, which is a nearby suburb. The first somewhat major minor city that we get out of after Indianapolis is Rushville, which I think is probably what it should be signed for on 465. In Rushville, we have a choice of Brookville and Greensburg. I believe we are heading for Brookville here. And now we get Cincinnati on the map. Cincinnati, Ohio, 33 away. I don't know why they have that OH there. People know Cincinnati. And we're meeting I-74 and 52 East for Cincinnati, so we join I-74. Welcome to Ohio! And I'm skipping the I-74 part, and we are getting to where we end at I-75, and I-75 South is also East 52. On I-75, we have a fairly confusing route through central Cincinnati, but we will do what we can here. We get this exit for 27, 127, 52, and 27, 52, 127 will be the Central Parkway. Here we are in downtown Cincinnati, and we see that South 52 sign, so we're on a South designation again. And we're seeing these roads next left in downtown Cincinnati, and then we'll soon get to the riverfront area after that. First, we will pass the Bengals Stadium, so here it is. Wish them the worst of luck this year. And as we go behind the stadiums along the Ohio River, we've been to Cincinnati several times on this channel, and we are finally now getting to see the nice bridge. We haven't been able to see it at all in any of the other videos. And now we pass the home of the Reds, whatever they're calling Riverfront Stadium these days. We continue along the Ohio River, and that's going to be true for a good amount of time. We're meeting 275, and now we're on East 52 again, so 52 changes its designation just within Ohio. Kind of weird. And we exit 275 for 52 to New Richmond. It's kind of interesting. They have an Ohio 52 instead of a US 52 sign here by mistake, and we see 52 East is Ripley, so Ripley is our next destination. Here we're meeting US 62 and US 68, and we see 52. We go east-west from here. Here's where we separate from US 68, and we continue forward to Aberdeen. And here's where we split from US 62. US 62 is going to cross the Ohio River and head into Kentucky. Now we're meeting a series of roads, and we have signs for Kentucky once again because we are very near it. US 52 is a little bit of a freeway here, and we see East 52 and North 23 are signed for Ironton. We're very near Ashland, Kentucky. It's right on the other side of that bridge you see here. So now we get East 52 for Huntington, West Virginia. And we exit this freeway that we've been on and head toward Huntington. We finally cross the Ohio River and we enter West Virginia here. We get that great West Virginia sign. And now we're getting 264 and South 52, so we're on South 52 again, Huntington and Charleston. But then East 64 for Huntington and Charleston, West 64 for Ashland, Kentucky. I looked it up. The fastest way to get from this point to Ashland, Kentucky is to do a U-turn. Heading down I-64, we get 52 South, and it is signed for two places that 52 does not go. As we see, Williamson is where 52 will be going because 52 will be turning left. We follow this road quite a ways again along the Ohio River, and we get Pike County, Kentucky. So we've been along Kentucky for a while. In fact, if we look at this map, since passing the stadiums in Cincinnati, we have been right on the Kentucky border for something like 200 miles and probably about 4 hours of driving time, something like that. We finally cross into Kentucky just a little bit right here. And as soon as we come in, we come right back out and we are back in West Virginia. Here we've got a South 52 turn left, Truck 52 go straight and turn left, but we're not dealing with Truck 52 today. Here we are in Williamson, and 52 really takes you right into town. Strange little signs. It'd be kind of hard to find and follow 52 through Williamson here. Once we leave Williamson, we are now signed for Welch, and we've got some cool scenery here in the Appalachians, and we have 52 is going to be going kind of diagonally from this point. And at this point, we are going to be signed for Bluefield, in this case Bluefield, West Virginia, and Welch traffic will go left. US 52 traffic will go kind of a soft left. We meet US 19, so interesting that you could drive from St. Petersburg, Florida to Minot, North Dakota and only take two roads. And we are going to be turning right here. And we've got another Truck 52, but 52 South, the real one, is going to be turning right, so we shall as well. We're finally in Bluefield. We've seen Bluefield in a lot of videos too. This is downtown Bluefield. Doesn't look like there's much going on. We meet 460 in Bluefield and 52 south, we turn left. 460 turns into a freeway and we are going to be exiting it to follow our way to 77 for Wytheville, Virginia. And here we are going to be joining I-77. We turn left to exit onto I-77 here. On I-77, we've got this tunnel going right under the state line, so we end up in Virginia on the other side. And here's our exit for US 52, and in the background we can see our Welcome to Virginia sign. US 52 in this section is largely within sight of I-77. Our furthest distance from I-77 is here when we get to the Big Walker Lookout, which is probably what US 52 should be signed for. We weave our way through the mountains to I-81, which is signed for Roanoke, so we turn left for that. And we're on I-81, and we are meeting I-77 once again for the famed north-south wrong way concurrency. And South 52, Virginia has south as well, signed for Charlotte and Roanoke. 52 doesn't quite make it to the end of the 77-81 split. We have South 52 here for Fort Chiswell. And once we're on the ground on 52 in that area, it is now signed for Mount Airy, which is probably the right thing to do. Yet this South 52, you are signed for Hillsville instead of Mount Airy. We're meeting US 58, and now we're signed for Fancy Gap. Okay, I don't know why Mount Airy went away. In Fancy Gap, we meet the Blue Ridge Parkway, so here is the exit onto the Blue Ridge Parkway. Definitely will do that one day too. And now we enter North Carolina. We'll see if North Carolina does a better job on US highways than they do on interstates. We're getting this exit for 89, 277, and 274 downtown. And downtown in that case is downtown Mount Airy. US 52 becomes a freeway again, and we are getting assigned for West 74 277 to Wytheville. We were just in Wytheville. Why do it that way? It should be to Charlotte, because traffic from this way is coming from the Wytheville direction. Now we're getting Winston-Salem 30 as we merge onto what was I-74 and Lexington 51. I don't know why Lexington's on there. Winston-Salem does fine. And we do see this is a future I-74 corridor, this part of 52. Here we're meeting US 311 for downtown Winston-Salem. And Winston-Salem we've danced around a lot in a number of episodes, but never actually seen the downtown skyline, so here it is. We get pretty close to it. And here is US 158, and the interchange with US 158 was requested by TheDerpHog, who has made his own video about US 158, so you can find the link to that in the description of the video. So thank you so much, TheDerpHog, really appreciate it. And another look at 158, so we see West 158 and 421, the Salem Parkway. We met 421 in Indianapolis, so that's kind of weird that we meet that same road in these two distant cities. Now we're meeting I-40, Greensboro, and no comment. And at this point, we are going to be getting onto South 52 for Lexington, South 285 and 52, that is. So Lexington, not a great control city there at all. 285 would be the fastest route from here to Charlotte, so why not just put Charlotte there? Oh yeah, because it's North Carolina. And even on mileage signs, Lexington and Salisbury. You can't put Charlotte there. We're meeting I-85, it goes to Charlotte. Now we are getting the Richard Childress Racing Museum at exit 97. This exit was requested by Brandon Parker 6716, so thank you so much, I really appreciate that. And here is the actual exit that he requested, exit 97, and it is for Welcome. I wonder how many people get off there thinking it's a service area or something, or a rest area. We are meeting US 64 for Lexington and Moxville, and this exit was also requested by TheDerpHog, and he made a video about US 64 as well. I was on US 64 on the complete opposite end of it not too long ago, so I imagine I'll probably do some 64 stuff at some point. But thank you for the request, really appreciate it. And now we get end 285 as we merge into I-85 on a Y intersection. The random interchanges on I-85. On I-85, it's still Salisbury, not Charlotte. Ugh. And now we get our exit 452 south for Salisbury and Albemarle. There's no way I'm going to pronounce that the right way. 52 isn't going to Salisbury though. 52 is going to Albemarle. I hope I'm saying that right. I watched a couple videos about it, but the Carolina accent, there's no way I can match it. In Albemarle, I believe, this is where we are, we've got a split for Charlotte and Wadesboro. So Wadesboro is our next control city on US 52. Up ahead we've got, I believe, US 74, and Rockingham is straight ahead. We are going to be turning, though, on US 52 for Cheraw. Again, I'm not going to be able to say that right. Very Carolina accents on the videos. And we head into South Carolina. In South Carolina, we meet US 1. Wow, we've met 83 and now we meet 1. That's pretty impressive. And it is signed for Florence and Camden straight ahead, so that makes sense. Here we are in Chirac, and 1 and 52 are going to be turning left for Camden and Columbia, but Florence has gone away. Here is where 52 and 1 will split, and 52 will be heading for Society Hill and Florence, and 1 for Camden, so Columbia's gone. Here we're meeting US 401 and US 15. US 401 was also requested by TheDerpHog, so I really appreciate that. And I will link your video to US 401 in the description as well, so shout out TheDerpHog. Here's where we split with US 15, and we are now signed for Darlington, so Florence has gone away. Yep, here we are splitting with US 401. US 401 is leaving, and 52 is going straight to Florence. Darlington, turn left. We're meeting I-95 here, and I-95 is sensibly signed for Savannah and Fayetteville. And now we're meeting US 76, and we see that we are signed for Manning if we turn this way, so that's a little weird. We're meeting the great US 301. It's quite a road. I'll do that one day. And 52 straight ahead. We're finally getting Charleston on the map here. Charleston 31 miles away. And now 52 and 78 are signed overhead for Charleston. We've become kind of a freeway now as we head toward I-26. And here's our actual meeting with I-26, East I-26 for Charleston via freeway. And you're going to go to Charleston on the other road as well on Rivers Avenue. Here is 526 for Mount Pleasant, and we see the exit for 52 and 78 is for Rivers Avenue. Here's where we split with 78, and we will be on Meeting Street. And we end at the corner of Meeting Street and Morrison Street here in Charleston. So there's no N52 sign, and there's been no 52 reassurance shields for a while. So I just found a West 52 right here, and it's East-West apparently, West 52. Interesting. All right, woo, 52, that is something. Now, let's talk about Todd's the way it should be for 52. Buckle up here. Alright, so for Todd's the way it should be, on a US highway, I can't quite be as stringent as I am on an interstate. For example, US 52 does go from Indianapolis to Cincinnati, but nobody would ever take it that way unless they were doing it for fun. They would take I-74. So I'm not going to say it should be signed for Cincinnati out of Indy. I'm just going to say the next logical place it should be signed without taking a different route that would slightly be better. So I'm going to say eastbound 52 should be signed for Minot, Jamestown, Fargo, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Rochester, Dubuque, Bellevue, Savannah, Dixon, Peru, I know it doesn't go there, but it's on the way there, Joliet, Kankakee, Kentland, Lafayette, Lebanon, Indianapolis, Rushville, Brookville, Cincinnati, Ripley, Portsmouth, Ashland, Huntington, Williamston, Bluefield, Big Walker Lookout, because that's where it goes, and Wytheville, Hillsville, Mount Airy, Winston-Salem, Charlotte, because when it's on 285, it should absolutely be signed Charlotte, Albemarle, Florence, Kingstree, and Charleston. And I might be missing a couple of them in South Carolina because kind of ran out of steam because this took forever to put together. But we'll be doing it again soon with other stuff. All right. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Control City Freak. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate all the love on this video, and come back next week when we will talk about a much shorter road, the Garden State Parkway in New Jersey. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Todd, and until next time, keep on trucking.